Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're at in the world today, as we have the tapes up. The question I have for everybody, can social media be a safety net for education, or more importantly, can it even save education? Because right now, education is getting a real bundle of this. But what is education? Education is anything knowledge. It's actually the accumulated knowledge we teach each other, so you can put anything in there, and people exploit that all the time. You know, you always hear it says, social education, social media education for that much. But we do know that education is a safety net because it helps people make more money. The more education you get, the more money you make. Or at least if you get a certificate for it or get your diploma. In that aspect, one of the biggest things that we find out about social education is that the more education that anyone receives, the more their community is going to do well, more safety nets, more culture. But of course, what does that have to do with social media today? Basically, one of the biggest problems we have is the transmission of education. And we now know the internet is a disruptive technology. When was the last time you used a travel agent or a bank teller? Anything that the internet touches, it changes, and it changes in a major way. One of the biggest changes it does, it cuts costs and everything else. So what is social education? Social media combined with educational content equals social education. How can we transmit anything? If the mantra is social media is content, then our content is trapped in education. 85% of all of our educational material is out there. Now, Governor Perry of Texas wants to offer a $10,000 bachelor's degree because of the burden that it is adding to our kids. He wants $10,000 to do a bachelor's degree, and he says he wants a Texas school to do it, and he wants the textbooks included. Well, we've already got an answer to the textbooks, as everybody knows, but what about the rest of it? How can social media be influencing into education? And that is all the tools we've already got. And one of the best ways is that we're going to be in front of our computers at home and around, and we're going to have our kids come up, they're going to be able to gather the stuff, the teachers will be able to gather things together in order to bring that sort of material. But that's kind of boring, and everybody goes like, well, they're at home. First thing I do about education is separate it from daycare. So kids can come to, here you go, Second Life classroom, where everybody can come meet together and never leave their homes. So no kid will ever have an excuse for a sick day. And so we can see that from this point of view, people can share through the computer different ways, social media. And someday, instead of getting a lecture hall here, we'll be able to get our lecture hall anywhere. And this one never fills up. You can have 1,000 students, 1,000,000 students, and all the knowledge will flow evenly. And so with that, we can do it. Even gym classes can now, with Xbox Kinetic, can actually do it and connect it. Can you imagine kids, oh, we don't want to go to the gym today. Here you go. So you have no excuse for that. Literally anything can happen in a virtual environment now to the student the way the students want. Education is communication. Social media is networking. Social education is network communication. What it means, can you get the information across to the student so they learn the skills necessary? That's as simple as it is, but social media gives us that. Social education makes everyone an educator. Each and every one of you has a perfect idea of what you do, and everybody has a unique perspective. And with the internet, workshops, classrooms, Ignite, all these become part of our social education background, which we can teach our kids. But the DOE says that basically they did a 12-year study, and they found that online learners did better, 50 to 59% percentiles, for kids that took all or part of their classes online. So this excuse that classrooms are better, not so much. And of course, teachers can communicate. When the classroom day ends, it no longer has to end. There's Twitter, there's things that Blackboard, Meebo. So when the classroom ends at the end of the day, kids go home, they don't have to worry about knowing things they can talk to. We can actually have our schools as 24-hour operators. Parents, teachers, school administration, all of them can engage utilizing tools that are already being invented, and not all of the tools, because social media people really haven't unleashed themselves on this content. Imagine if teachers became celebrities. What if they were rock stars? What if one popular teacher in front of one class was able to teach 1,000,000 students? Wouldn't their pay go up? Wouldn't we want to have it? What if teachers were rock stars? What would it change for all of us? And so social education can teach anyone anything at any time and allows anyone to learn anything anywhere at any time. It's going to make it harder for testing, but if you need to change, and this isn't just for kids, this is for adults. We have to change constantly. The internet is driving me crazy because I have to change what I think every 6 months. And so I am Ed Hubbard of the Microversity. If you're thinking about a school tomorrow, talk with us today.